Interesting position we are in now. Tameika Devine, former advisor and surrogate for President Biden, with us now. Kelly Meyer, thank you very much. Tameika, I can't sort of help but chuckle just a little bit that who thought it would be Democrats having a fight right now over somebody's age and trying to make that an issue here during 2023?
Yeah, thank you so much, Leland, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And, I don't think it's so much of Senator Feinstein's age as it's the fact that she's missing. And I think because of her age and the medical difficulties she's had have taken her longer, and she's been gone for a while. So I think that's the major concern is how do we make sure that we get these Democratic nominees through, the judicial nominees through, and making sure that, if she's not able to serve, you actually have it at a place where you've got a governor who already says that he's going to, make an appointment that I think most people could rally behind.
Yeah, he said he's going to appoint an African-American woman to the seat. At least a couple of people have talked about Kamala Harris as an odd joke. Probably not going to happen. At the same time, though, look, President Biden's legislative agenda is dead on arrival right now because you've got a Republican House. The only thing conceivably to do over the next 18 months for the president is to appoint progressive Democratic judges, which he's done. They're now all held up in the Senate. But this is bringing the age issue front and center as it relates to Democrats. You think about the math here. Biden's age, 80. McConnell, 81. Dianne Feinstein, 89. You combine that, you get 250, 18 years older than the actual city of Washington, D.C. itself. So you think about that. I think it meant to be 232 years old. But this issue now of age is front and center. You think about Joe Biden right now, who just got back from his trip to Ireland. Watch this interaction with a young child there.
What's your question?
What's the top step to success?
What's the top what?
Step for pushback here, and everyone
What's the
push
top step to success?
Yes.
Or making sure that we don't all have COVID. What are you talking about?
That we don't all have COVID. Wait, what are we talking about here? So there is that. Is age really something that Democrats want on the top of mind of voters right now?
I don't think it's age. Again, I think that the conversation around Senator Feinstein or any Democrat or Republican who is missing for long periods of time from the seat that they're elected to should be about whether or not they're actually able to perform the duties that they've been elected. And I think that's the major conversation. And so as a Democrat, I wouldn't talk a lot about Senator Feinstein's age. I'd be focusing on the fact that, she has shingles, she was in hospital, she's not able to come back. And this is a critical time to make sure that we have every single Democratic senator there so that we can push through what we can. So I think the age thing is a lot of folks want to talk about the age. It's not about her age. She could be 89 and doing very well, and still performing. And if she was performing and doing very well, I don't think we'd be having that conversation.
Well, certainly if she was there, there's obviously she was able to win re-election, which is interesting. There was not an issue, to your point. Then she was there, she was voting. That in the end sort of seems to what matter in the Senate. Tameika, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Good to see you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.